Hi, thanks for coming out to the episode today. Today, I'm going to spend a little bit of time about talking about being a victim or feeling like you're a victim. And then, in Chinese medicine, if you're feeling that way, what's unfortunate is that's the energetics that you're portraying out to everybody. And so you're actually pulling in people who are going to treat you in ways that maybe you don't want to be treated, or at least you're going to have a bigger propensity to pull that kind of person into your life. So we're going to talk about how that feels. And then I'm going to give you a meditation that you can do with me to help start changing that dialogue that's going on in your head, because who needs that, right? So we're going to do this meditation, and then for yourself, think about doing it every day. Think about finding 10 minutes where you can just sit and refocus, because the more you change the way you think, the more that you're going to change the energetics that you're experiencing or that you're projecting in the world. Does that make sense? Okay, let's get started. Have you ever felt victimized? Like there's these powers in the world taking advantage of you or abusing their position of authority, and there's nothing you can do about it? Do you feel like the stress is just building up in your body? It can feel like anxiety overload, like some dark force is standing in front of you, blocking your way. It tricks you into believing that the world is against you and that these circumstances will never change, leaving you feeling hopeless. Nobody likes feeling like a victim, but you know what? Sometimes you just fall into that trap of feeling like a victim. And so here's 5 signs that you can kind of tune into to identify when you might be slipping into that trap of feeling like a victim. Your thoughts stop you from reaching out and trusting other people. Something happened that left you feeling foolish, embarrassed, stupid. Maybe it left you feeling powerless and taken advantage of. And that stops you from reaching out and trusting other people. Those feelings of feeling foolish, embarrassed, stupid, powerless, or even taken advantage of can leave you asking questions like, why? Why me? When things are happening in your life that have you asking questions like, why? Why me? Why is this always happening to me? Then those things, they start to consume your thoughts, and you can't stop thinking about it. When you get to the point where these thoughts, they're starting to consume you, then somewhere deep inside you, you're starting to believe it's something that you're doing, that you're the problem. And what makes this even worse is you can't figure your way out of this situation. You don't have an idea of what it is you're doing. That kind of confusion can leave you feeling angry and resentful, and can have you striking out at other people, can have you practicing passive aggressive behaviors, because sometimes it can be really difficult to not feel resentful of other people's successes. So those are 5 things that can help you recognize if you're trapped in feeling like a victim. And you don't have to be here all the time. Sometimes that feeling, it just sneaks up on you, and suddenly you find yourself in the thick of this crappy thinking. And even though you're taking responsibility for yourself, things happen in the world that can leave you feel like you're caught in this endless trap, and like it's happening again and again and again, and you don't have anyone on your side, and you can't figure out how to get off this ride. That's when your thoughts start getting out of hand and you start losing your personal power. And as soon as you lose your personal power, that's when you can't move forward. That's when you get just swallowed up in this negative thinking. And that's when your thoughts, they're going to start to suck you down. So that's how we get there. And then the thought is, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of feeling like a victim? And you know what you got going for you is you're not the only one who's ever felt like a victim. And so you're not the only one who's learned to overcome feeling like a victim. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a meditation to help us overcome those feelings. To start out, find a position that's comfortable for you, whether it's sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground or laying on your bed. Find that position that's comfortable for you. Now, this is how I sit because this is what's comfortable for me. And you know, the other reason why I do this is I actually need a process to help me get into meditation. So find a process that works for you so that you can get into your meditation quicker. If you've done prior meditations with me, you know I do a 4-beat breath. So 4 beats in, 4 beats out. And I'll put a link to the video that talks about the theory behind why you use your breath and why I'm using this 4-beat breath. So we're going to start with concentrating on our breath so that we can get really present. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, take your attention and focus on the Anja chakra located between the eyebrows. This chakra will help you better manage and regulate your emotions. As you stay focused on your Anja chakra, let the emotions of the day flow through you. Repeat this mantra to yourself. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. This may be happening, but I do not have to define myself by this. It's time to come back. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you for doing this meditation with me. And until next time, I will catch you on the other side.